Hello everybody, my name is Smarty, short for Smarty Reads, and welcome back. I'm going to read chapter 5, of Back to School Mallory. This chapter is called The Daily News. I'm going to start reading. Calling all columnists, said Mrs. Daly taps Chester on the head. Would anyone here like to be in the newspaper business? Hands shoot up everywhere. Class, we're going to publish a newspaper for the whole school to read, says Mrs. Daly. We'll publish one issue per month. Does anyone know the main function of the newspaper? Pamela's hand is up high. Mrs. Daly points to her. To give information to people, Pamela says. Excellent, Pamela. Mrs. Daly writes the word information on the chalkboard. What kind of information do you think we should include on our newspaper? Sports scores, Pete shouts. Horoscopes, Danielle and Ariel say together. Comics, says Zach. News, suggests Adam. Advice, says Emma. Mrs. Daly writes sports scores, horoscopes, comics, news, and advice on the chalkboard. I think we should include all of this information in our paper, she says. Then she writes something else on the board. Profile, a description of someone's abilities, personality, or career. Class, we're going to learn how to write profiles. We'll be picking one teacher at Fern Falls Elementary to write about for each issue of our paper. We'll call it our Teacher of the Month column. I raise my hand. Mrs. Daly, how will we decide which teachers to write about? Good question, Mallory. We'll pick Fern Falls elementary teachers who are doing special things that other students might find interesting. Pamela leans over to my side of the desk. I'm going to tell Mrs. Daly we should pick her for the first issue. Students will find it interesting that we're writing a newspaper. I'm not sure other students will think that's interesting, but I'm sure Mrs. Daly will like that idea. It bugs me that Pamela always says things Mrs. Daly will like hearing. I rub my forehead with my pinkies. Marianne and I used to do that when we were thinking of something good to say. We're trying to think of something good to say. Right now, I want to think of something that Mrs. Daly will like hearing. Now, says Mrs. Daly, we need to pick a name for our paper. Any ideas? Everyone starts whispering. I keep rubbing. Then I remember something Mom said. Maybe we could call it the Daily News, I whispered to Pamela. Get it, Mrs. Daly? Daily News? Do you think Mrs. Daly would like that? Pamela's hand flies in the air. How about the Daily News? She blurts out. She doesn't even wait for Mrs. Daly to call on her. Mrs. Daly rubs her chin. It's catchy. Let's see a show of hands. And that's Pamela raising her hand and screaming, the Daily News. Who likes the name The Daily News for our newspaper? Hands shoot up everywhere. It's settled then, Mrs. Daly writes the Daily News in big bold letters on the chalkboard. Our newspaper will be called The Daily News. Let's all thank Pamela for the wonderful suggestion. Everyone claps. Everyone but me. Pamela stole my idea. I thought of something Mrs. Daly would like hearing, and Pamela took the words right out of my mouth. Everyone is busy talking about the Daily News, but not me. I'm busy trying to figure out what I want to say to Pamela. The answer is not much. I don't care if I ever speak to Pamela again. Settle down, Mrs. Daly taps Chester. Everyone in this class will be a part of the paper. I want each of you to give some thoughts on what you'd like to write. What I'd like to write is a want ad. Wanted, a new desk mate, kind and friendly. Thieves don't apply. Contact Mallory McDonald, Fern Falls Elementary, room 310, room 2, seat 6. I tried giving Pamela a chance, but if you ask me, it was a flop. I can't believe she stole my idea. I always told Marianne my good ideas, and she never took them. I don't know if desk mates can officially not speak to each other, but I'm officially not speaking to Pamela. Now, says Mrs. Daly, unless someone can think of something we should include in our newspaper, let's open our math books. Joey raises his hand. I can think of something else we should include. How about announcements? Mrs. Daly smiles. What kind of announcements do you have in mind? You know, stuff that's going on in school, like the date of the fall festival. Joey, that's a wonderful idea. The Daily News announcement column. I like that. I like it. I don't. I don't want to announce fall festival to the whole school. Maybe Joey wants everyone to see him. He's Farmer Brown, but I don't want anyone to see me. Mrs. Daly taps Chester on the head, and the classroom gets quiet. The newspaper will be lots of fun. We will start working on it next week. Class, please open your math books to page 62. I open mine to page 62. Word problems. Long, complicated word problems. Long, complicated word problems fill the page from top to bottom. I sigh. Page 62 and I have a lot in common. We're both full of problems. And that's the end of that chapter. I'll see you next time when I read letter writing. Bye.